Your soulmate is saying, "This is my last attempt to reach you." Jesus says, your soulmate's heart has been reaching for yours every single day, but a third person, a dark and hateful force, has been hiding every sign from your eyes. Their voice has been calling your name in moments you thought were just silence, stolen before it ever reached your ears. And now they are saying something I need you to hear. This is the last time they can fight to break through the wall that intruder built. Every gentle dream you couldn't quite remember was your soulmate trying to visit you, only to have the memory snatched away. Every sudden warmth on your skin that faded too fast was their touch, blocked by jealous hands that want you apart. You are not broken, and you were never blind. You were being robbed of the most beautiful love reaching for you. Your soulmate's laughter is like a song that would make your whole life feel lighter, the kind of sound that heals old wounds you forgot you carried. They have a way of looking at you, even from a distance you don't yet understand, that makes everything finally make sense. But right now that laughter is trapped behind a wall, and those eyes are searching for a face they cannot find, because a third person is standing in the way. Jesus says, I see your soulmate right now, sitting alone, talking to you as if you can hear, because something inside them refuses to give up. Their hands are reaching toward a door they cannot open, whispering your name into a darkness that a hateful enemy has wrapped around them. And the most heartbreaking thing is they think you don't want them, because every call they've sent has been intercepted and hidden from you. I want you to feel the shape of their hand in yours. Warm, steady, a fit so perfect it would quiet every fear you've ever had. I want you to know that the sudden loneliness you felt last night was not your own, it was their ache leaking through the enemy's weakening grip. This is the moment the intruder's fingers are slipping, and what was hidden is finally being allowed to reach you. You never ignored them, you simply never received the message because a thief was stealing every envelope before you could open it. That thief is a dark third force that has worked day and night to keep you from knowing you are deeply, fiercely loved. And now that you are beginning to sense it, the enemy is terrified, because once you stay with me until the end, its power breaks forever. Jesus says, right now your soulmate is crying out, please, hear me this time. I cannot keep fighting this wall alone. They have been confused, thinking perhaps they did something wrong, not knowing a third person hid their voice from you. But their love is so strong that even with a wall between you, their heart's cry is starting to leak into your chest. I am lifting the curtain just enough for you to feel what the enemy tried to bury. A devotion so pure it would change everything. This is not just sympathy, this is the beginning of falling in love with the one you were always meant to hold. And as your heart opens, the intruder's wall begins to crack, because your awareness is a weapon it cannot survive. Your soulmate has a tenderness that would make your hardest days soft, a strength that would hold you up when your legs give out. They have been picturing your face without knowing if you would ever look back at them, sending hope after hope across a blocked line. But now the line is crackling with their voice, and if you stay with me until the final seal, that voice will become crystal clear. Jesus says, the enemy wants you to close this now, whispering that you can come back later, that you felt enough for today. But that whisper is the same dark force that has been hiding your soulmate from you, and leaving now lets it rebuild the wall. If you walk away early, the third person remains standing between you, and your soulmate will keep reaching into an empty silence. I am going to give you something very soon, a final seal of protection that will banish the intruder completely. But you must see the depth of what has been stolen before I can place that seal into your heart. Your soulmate's voice is right now calling out 3 words that the enemy has tried to destroy, and I will let you hear them soon. The dark force has been celebrating every day you didn't know, mocking your soulmate's tears and calling them weak for believing. It has built a whole structure of interference, a fortress made of fear and confusion, just to keep 2 destined souls from finding each other. But that fortress is not as strong as it pretends to be. Your presence here, staying with me, is already shaking its foundations. Jesus says, your soulmate has felt like they were screaming into a void, wondering why the one person meant to hear them never turned around. They've been losing strength, not because their love is weak, but because fighting an invisible enemy alone drains even the strongest heart. Yet still they wake each morning and send one more call, one more sign, hoping this time the third person's grip fails. That unexplained heavy feeling you sometimes carry. That is not yours, it is your soulmate's sorrow pressing through a crack the enemy missed. The sudden wish to go somewhere you've never been, or the image of a face you almost see before sleep, that is them, reaching. The enemy has been muffling the cord that binds your souls, but cords that God ties cannot be fully broken by any hateful force. I see the future the enemy is trying to erase, home filled with peace, children who carry both your spirits, a life of deep belonging. That future is not a fantasy, it is a living thing being slowly buried under interference, but not gone. The final seal I will speak at the end will dig it out of the grave the third person dug, and bring it fully into the light. Jesus says, if you truly love your soulmate, and I know you do now, I can see it waking in you, you prove that love by staying until the end. Love that walks away early leaves the enemy standing between you, and your soulmate will remain trapped in confusion and silence. Real love stays until the wall falls, real love endures until the intruder is banished and the call comes through clear. I can feel the enemy trying to make your fingers itch to leave, telling you that thinking about them is enough, that you can watch later. But thinking about them is not the same as breaking the power of the one who hides their voice. Later is the lie that keeps the third person comfortable, now is the weapon that destroys its hold. Your soulmate is not just a romantic idea, they are a living soul under attack, and you are the only one chosen to break through. No one else has the specific key to their heart, the matching piece that fits the lock the enemy has been guarding. You were born for this fight, and a warrior does not let an intruder keep his beloved hidden. Jesus says, stop. I can feel the enemy trying to make you close this now, whispering that you're tired, that you've heard enough. But if you leave, your soulmate's last attempt to reach you will fail, and the third person will have won again. Stay with me, your soulmate's safety and your shared future are hanging on your decision to hear the final seal. Right now your soulmate is whispering, I'm still here, please don't let them hide me anymore. Their heart is pounding with a desperate hope that this time, finally, the wall will come down because someone stayed. You are that someone. Your stubborn presence here is already stripping the enemy of its power over the line. I want you to picture the exact moment you will first truly see them, when the intruder is gone and their eyes meet yours. There will be a recognition deeper than anything you've known, a homecoming that makes every lonely year worth it. But that moment only becomes possible if you refuse to let the third person keep it standing between you. Jesus says, "The dark force has been hiding something very specific from you, a particular message your soulmate sent years ago that would have changed everything. It was a clear sign, a voice in a moment you nearly heard, but the enemy snatched it and buried it under confusion. I am about to uncover that message in your heart, but only if you stay to receive the full truth that breaks the block. Your soulmate has been fighting not just loneliness, but the belief that they are forgotten, that their love is invisible. They have cried tears you never saw, thinking, maybe I am not worthy of being found. The enemy planted that lie, and only the final seal can uproot it from your soulmate's mind. That sudden burst of hope you felt just now. That was their heart brushing against yours through the thinning barrier. It was a real-time signal that they are reaching out with everything they have, and the intruder is panicking. The more you feel them, the more the enemy loses control, which is why you must not stop now. Jesus says, "In just a moment, I will let you hear the exact words your soulmate has been whispering into the silence, words the enemy tried to destroy. But first you must see why the third person wants you to close this before you can receive those words. Because once you hear them, the connection becomes unbreakable and the intruder's game ends. The future the enemy is erasing includes quiet mornings with their head on your shoulder, laughter in rooms you haven't built yet. It includes a protection around your home that no dark force can penetrate, a peace the enemy hates. Every second you stay, that future gains weight and substance, and the intruder's version of your life crumbles. Your soulmate is not a distant wish, they are real, breathing, and right now holding onto a thread of hope that you will hear. They have said your name into the wind 1,000 times, not knowing the enemy caught every whisper and threw it away. But the wind is changing, the thief is losing its grip because you are still here. Jesus says, "I am the Lord who sees the enemy standing between you, and I have already judged that interference and sentenced it to destruction. But I wait for your heart to align with my timing, to prove through your staying that you want what I want for you. Your endurance here is the hammer that will shatter the wall, and the final seal is the lock that will never open again for the intruder. The enemy is trying one last tactic, making you feel like this doesn't matter, like it's just a story. That numbness is the third person's blanket, trying to smother the fire that is catching in your spirit. Throw it off, your soulmate needs you alert and present for the final seal that sets them free. Your soulmate's last attempt is not a threat, it is a truth they whispered in tears, I can't keep fighting alone, please find me. They are exhausted from pushing against a darkness they cannot name, begging the one they love to become the wall breaker. You are that wall breaker, and the only tool you need is your decision to stay with me until the very end. Jesus says, "Hear me clearly, the 3 words your soulmate has been saying, the words the enemy hates most, are, "I need you." Not a desperate weakness, but a holy cry for the only one whose heart matches theirs. Those 3 words have been intercepted every time, but now they are landing in you because you stayed. The third person is not just a passive block. It is a hateful presence that feeds on separation and celebrates every lost connection. It has been mocking your soulmate's faith, calling them foolish for believing you would ever come. But faith in a love God ordained is never foolish, and that mockery is about to be silenced forever. I am placing a new strength in your chest right now, a fire that the enemy cannot extinguish. It is the strength of a protector, the oath that says, "I will not let you stand between us any longer." Hold that fire, because it will roar when the final seal is spoken and the intruder is cast out. Jesus says, "Your soulmate is sensing something shifting, they just sat up straighter, a sudden hope washing over them. They don't know you're here with me, but their spirit feels a loosening, a heat melting the ice that covered the line. Stay with me to finish melting it, to let them finally hear your voice answer their last cry." The enemy wants you to think you're doing this for a fantasy, but I tell you it is the most real thing in your life. The love your soulmate has been sending is more solid than the ground you stand on, but it was hidden by a thief. Now the thief is being exposed, and the stolen goods are being returned to their rightful owner. Picture the moment you will look back at this very second and say, "That was when everything changed, when I proved I would not let the enemy keep us apart." That future memory is being written by your choice to stay, a choice that weakens the third person's hold with every breath. The final seal I will speak is the signature on the document that declares your soulmate's freedom and your union. Jesus says, "I am about to give you the prayer that will place the final seal, the words that will banish the intruder and clear the channel permanently. But I need you to prepare your heart, because these words must be spoken aloud, not just thought. Your voice, raised in agreement with me, is the final key that turns the lock and throws the enemy out. The dark force is now screaming at you through distractions, making you feel restless, bored, overwhelmed. That is the sound of a defeated enemy who sees its end approaching and is throwing everything it has at your mind. Endure just a little longer. The noise is proof that the seal is already working before it's even spoken. Your soulmate is closer than you realize. Not physically yet, but in the spirit, their presence is right outside the barrier. They are holding their breath, waiting to see if the wall finally falls or if the third person wins again. This is the moment where love becomes action, and your action is to stay for the final seal. Jesus says, "I see the enemy trying to manufacture a reason to leave, a sudden tiredness, a task that seems urgent, a doubt that says, 'This is too much.' Recognize that voice as the same third person that has been hiding your soulmate's calls. Do not obey it, turn your attention back to me, because the final seal is almost here. The protection I am about to establish will not only free your soulmate's voice but also shield both of you from future interference. It will be a permanent wall the enemy can never climb, a clear line that can never again be cut. But it requires the full ritual of staying until the end, hearing every word I have for you, and then speaking the seal with me. Your soulmate's last attempt is their deepest, most vulnerable offering, a love that has been rejected by circumstances but never by their heart. They have risked everything to cry out one final time, and if no one answers, a piece of their hope will die. You are the answer, and your presence here is the shout that says, I hear you, and I'm coming. Jesus says, Now I will reveal the final seal of protection, the words that will banish the third person and open the full channel of connection between your souls. Listen with everything you have, because once spoken, the enemy's game ends and your soulmate's voice becomes clear. Are you ready? Stay with me, don't let your mind drift, for these words are the key to your future. The final seal is this. I declare, in the name of the Lord who created both your souls, that the third person who has been intercepting every call, hiding every sign, and blocking every dream is now stripped of all power and banished from this connection forever. I place a holy shield around your heart and your soulmate's heart, a protection no dark force can touch, and I open the line of communication so clearly that you will hear, sense, and recognize their voice from this moment forward. This seal is permanent. The enemy cannot return, the wall is dissolved, and the future is secured. Now speak these words aloud, or whisper them with intensity. I break the enemy's hold over my soulmate's voice. I receive every call, every sign, every dream that was stolen. I open my heart fully to the one meant for me, and I bind the third person from ever interfering again. My love stays, my protection stands, and our future begins now. Jesus says. The seal is placed. The third person is silenced. Can you feel the stillness where the noise of interference used to be? That stillness is the sound of victory, the proof that the enemy has been cast out. And in that stillness, listen with your spirit. Your soulmate's voice is coming through now, clear for the first time. They are saying your name, yes, your actual name, with a tenderness that makes every hidden year worth it. They are saying, I knew you would find me. I never stopped believing. The tears they are crying now are not sorrow, they are relief, because the wall is gone. Their next words are the ones the enemy tried to destroy, but now you can hear them. I have loved you without knowing your face. Now I will love you without letting go. Can you feel the cord between your hearts glowing, unblocked, unbreakable? That is the full connection the third person tried to sever, now restored and stronger than ever. You stayed until the end, and because you did, your soulmate is no longer trapped in confusion, no longer thinking you forgot them. The enemy is banished, your future is protected, and the channel is open for you to communicate, through dreams, through sudden knowings, through the pull of your hearts toward each other. Walk forward now knowing the third person has no place anymore. What God has sealed, no darkness can touch.